Hey folks, Dr. Rowe here, hope you're well. I am just waiting for one of my videos to get rendered, and I wanted to just quickly talk about this. I know it's end of the day and there's a lot going on for those of you probably going to bed or whatever, but I just wanted to catch up on a couple of things. So just over the last week, actually, a couple of questions have come in more than once from different people actually who have been asking me questions about strategies, and this hasn't happened very much prior to COVID. Then there was questions kind of jumping up through COVID. There's loads of good conversations happening out there at the moment in the general marketplace on real estate. And then, as you know, I sort of post on different subjects, real estate being one of them, property investing, as well as personal development, mindset changes, etc. And 2 or 3 people in the last week have kind of tied in what I've been talking about, purpose and strategies and mindset and business and wealth and money, tied into their own property business and where they're going next. And I think there's a lot of processing going on in people's heads. And the questions have been around this subject of, well, should we change our strategy now? What are you doing, Dr. Rowe? What's your view with the market moving ahead? I'm not going to tackle all those questions right now because it's a very short message for everybody. But I will say this: if you are somebody with the mindset that you may have been affected in some way, shape or form by what's happened with COVID, i.e. your tenants haven't been able to pay, or you're not sure whether you're going to be able to fill the rooms as quickly as you'd hoped, maybe there was rooms left empty if you're looking at the house of multiple occupation strategy, which is a great strategy, by the way, and you're looking for something that provides that income, but maybe with a greater sense of security, there's probably 2 strategies you can consider straight away. Certainly one of them I apply a lot and have done for many years now. First one is a rent-to-rent or a sort of rent guarantee system. This is where, and I get letters even today where people are out there and they find out I'm an owner of a property and they write to me and they say, "Hi, Dr. Weirasing, we run a property investment company. Would you like to hand your property over to us and we'll give you a guaranteed rent?" Now, be mindful that if they're doing that, then it means that they're going to probably offer you a guaranteed rent of this much on the basis that they can rent it out for this much. So let's say the market rent was $600 a month. They might offer you $650, $700 a month, $800 a month, possibly. You get a guaranteed rent plus a little bit more, maybe. They may even just offer you market rent and take away the hassle on the basis that they will rent it out as a HMO or to an organisation and get £800, £900, £1,000 or more on it, depending on how they're going to operate it. So that strategy can work, and it gives you the opportunity to hand the property over to somebody else. Be mindful, again, you've got to take financial advice on this, but if you happen to do that with another organisation, another company, and they take the property from you and they decide to, so in other words, you sign a contract and they become your tenant effectively, and you get a guaranteed rent. If they happen to put 4 or 5 tenants in that property and it isn't licensed for a HMO, you are going to be in trouble. Secondly, the mortgage that you have on the property may actually be set up as a buy-to-let, and it might be that there's a clause in there that says it cannot be run as a HMO, or if you do choose to multi-let or HMO the property out, however you want to phrase it, then you're supposed to notify the mortgage company. So I'm just telling you officially what you should be doing, and that's a conversation you'll probably need to have with your mortgage broker if that occurs. However, if you can get all those pieces together and somebody offers you 2, 3, 4, 5 years guaranteed rent, great. So think about that. Think about how the mortgage is going to be paid, who's going to pay, etc. That's one thing. The other one is to go and look at the government schemes that are out there. So this is social housing, and this is things like asylum seekers. There's also ex-veterans, special needs. There's a whole bunch of these strategies, and you may have heard me talk about this in other videos. There is definitely a growing demand for this. There has been for many years. I started my first one of these. To put this in perspective, I did my very first asylum seeker property, and I know you go and see lots of other speakers and other people out there. Even before many of these got into the marketplace, I did my very first one in 2002. That's like 18 years ago. 2002, 2001. So when people go, "Oh yeah, you should get into asylum seekers and social housing," well, guess what? Before some people have even grown hairs on their body, or even got into their teenage years, I was doing it back then, and it was a very different market back then. For a lot of the asylum seeker strategies back in those days, these cluster areas. You only could do it on a buy-to-let basis. That market has changed dramatically, and it is opening up again. And I can tell you now that over the next 4 to 6 months, you will see a lot of demand in these areas. Charities reaching out saying, if you're a landlord, we've got funding, we need to place this many tenants in this area, this type of property. So there are opportunities there where they'll take the property from you for 3, 5, 7, even 10 years. And particularly in the northwest, the northeast of the country at the moment, these opportunities are opening up, and you're looking at properties you can buy in the range of, say, low end, maybe 70k, right up into the 150k mark. That is the sweet spot. And these are strategies that can work really well. Now, you've got to be mindful of the type of lending you put on that. Some banks don't like them. Some lenders are okay, but they might caveat with X, Y, and Z. You may pay a slightly higher interest rate. So again, it depends on the lender, who you're dealing with, what your existing setup is, what your experience is as well. Talk to your mortgage broker, find out what the current situation is. We, for example, in one of my portfolios, we transitioned many of our properties over to this strategy about the last 2 to 3 years. Previously, they were HMOs, etc., which was fine. They were generating good cash flow. But when the opportunity came along in the same area to transition over and hand these over for 5, 6, 7 years, it's a bit of a no-brainer. I think with anyone coming through COVID that wants that sense of security, this could be a good strategy. So hopefully that's useful. At least gets you thinking ahead and maybe putting that plan in action. I've got to sign out now. Hopefully this is finished and I'm going to head home.